Endpoint Sprout, where the game is getting started incredibly quickly. Endpoint starting on the T side of Overpass as Mighty Max picks himself up a full bank of nades. No defuse kit on the Sprout side of things. Spitty instead opting for a flashbang as the push starts to come in. Early bathrooms control taken. Snatchy looking for the aggressive peek. Deeker as well, down in connector, finding a couple of tags, not quite connecting, and now trying to bait into his teammates. Faven and Dennis finding multiple frags. Bomb down, a quick triple. And Robin and Surreal, I mean, how do you recover this one? An early dink makes them think perhaps it's winnable, but the aggression all over the map. Surreal gets a 1-for-1. Robin's looking the wrong way. And Sprout, the perfect start, arguably.
Yeah, indeed. And they would be absolutely loving that. There's a bit of a rivalry between these teams, I think, forming somewhat after this weekend. Endpoint got the better of Sprout to a few people's surprise in the Home Sweet Home Cup. And they did look really good while doing it. A massive comeback on Train against them in that series as well. So I think Sprout are wanting to bring the game to them here today and show them that they do have what it takes to beat them out. And like you say, that is a hell of a way to begin things. And they're looking to continue the trend here. A lot of MP9s in play. Do need to be careful. There's some strong weaponry for Endpoint coming out. A lot of utility to play with as well. And they're all grouped up. So don't want to be walking into the ball of terrorists out here. Just playing the contact ultimately and trying to find a bit of an opening. Going to start and use some smokes as well, give the game away slightly. Maybe the rotations come in. Spitty's got to be very careful. Dennis is in to help. There's a quick flank available as well in just a second here. Thomas and Crucial chiming in, but like I say, there's so many players around to just make sure that they're contained in and that they do not have a chance of making it up short. Thomas, not long for this world, gets pre-fired. The second round in for Sprout. Again, very cleanly.
Again, making it look very easy and just setting that same trap as the previous. Lots of pressure coming in the mid-round, and it works out absolutely perfectly. It's going to put Endpoint in a little bit of an awkward situation as well, as they went for the force in the previous. Economy not really there to do anything in this one, so just the one P250, a flashbang onto Thomas, and you've got to expect some kind of a rush play here just to hope to maybe take one of those rifles away. Snatchy has upgraded onto the AWP. So he goes for the aggressive peek in towards Fountain. I guess perfect world scenario here. You manage to overwhelm that AWP with the 5 pistols. Maybe find yourself that frag. And arguably just lob the AWP out of the map. Snatchy sat in the bathrooms. Will be able to take the first frag onto Surreal. Now, of course, knows that the pistols are starting to swarm onto him. So may well choose to play a little more passively. Takes the dink of the Glock at range. But the head armor will keep him alive a while longer as the push starts to make its way around into these bathrooms. And Spitty on the MP9. He's going to be looking to farm himself plenty of cash here. Playing around the divider. Does give away his position initially, but there we go. A couple of frags for the MP9. Snatchy actually taken down on the AWP, so if they don't recover that, it's going to get a little bit expensive, but they should be able to.
Oh.
Nope, not going to nab it. Last second, it looked like Spitty had no idea. So at least the AWP going to have to be reinvested into, and I mean, I said that was the perfect outcome for Endpoint, so congratulations to them.
That's a tough one. Does definitely mean, like you say, they have to be a bit more aware of their economy into future rounds here on the Sprout side of things. But we'll see. Endpoint, first rifle rounds. They're 3 rounds down. Need to get this one in. I like it from Sprout. Bonus buy coming in. Deep smoke, deep flash. And the first frag picked up, as well as pushing back Crucial. Really nice opener coming in. Thomas trying to make something happen over on B. Thanks to the Molotov. Gets a nice, easy one onto Fathom, but there's still hard to deal with, and he's up close and personal, in and around the smoke. They cannot get the drop on him right now, but Surreal's like, screw this, mate. I'm just going to fire a few shots. Does take him down and brings it into a 3 versus 2. They've actually managed to pull the advantage back on the Endpoint side, despite such a dire start.
That's absolutely perfect, although Snatchy will be able to nab it back into the 2-on-2. Surreal absolutely stuck on the bomb side. That dink was heard as well. Spitty will take him down, and Crucial, just the AWP, 60 points of health and a flashbang to try and make this one work. Completely smoked off the initial angle. Sprout just start to clear their corners. Got to be cautious. They know it as well. Nice tags through the smoke, but Crucial's going to time this one perfectly. Finds the first. Spitty on the MP9, trying to push on him, but Crucial will find himself the 2-on-1 with 12 points of health left. Will get Endpoint on the board. And that round felt like it really needed to go the way of Endpoint when they found that 3-on-2.
Yeah. I think ultimately, like, pulling it back I feel like if Sprout had some slightly better weaponry, maybe it would have been a lot harder for them to do so. But really important pickup coming in for Endpoint, definitely. And as we say, Sprout, you never know. With the saved AWP, they may well have had a stronger buy here. We do actually have a FAMAS for Spiddy that I think he wasn't aware had been dropped for him. Gets his hands onto it, but the utility is severely lacking here for Sprout.
Near enough, nothing to work with, and they've used their early flashbang as well. They are now down to 1 smoke on Spiddy, and that's going to go as well. Missed AWP shot's going to mean that it just a daughter. Mighty Max on the Mac 10. 2 quick and easy frags. Dennis, at least able to get 1 on the rotation, but as he's taken out, I think there's already an argument to save for Sprout. It's 4 on 2. That bomb going to go down on the A bomb site, and there's no utility, right? The retake feels like it's nigh on impossible. Exit frags potentially for Diha in this one. If he can get 1 more and make it a little more expensive, that would be great. But that one just fell apart at the seams a little bit for Sprout.
Yeah, I mean, the play in bathroom's a little difficult to watch, ultimately. I think Spiddy, not respecting, maybe couldn't hear that there was a player super close to him. We'll manage to find 1 here towards the tail end and make saving slightly easier. It's not like Endpoint themselves can hunt massively. They also do not have the strongest of economies, but it should be a really good chance for them in the next round to even things up. Very little money for Sprout to work with at all, and no AWP save this time around. Just going to have to rely on these 2 M4s that I would imagine they're not going to buy around. They're just going to eco it out and maybe put the M4s together on a bomb site and try and make them work. Is pretty much all you can go for at this point. So yeah, definitely a really good chance for Endpoint to close the gap and possibly even take the lead if they can pick up these next couple rounds cleanly. Okay, we're going to see a bit of a half buy. Yeah, I think Sprout have figured we would have to eco the next round as well, so we might as well try and put a bit of resources into this one. You never know.
2-man monster aggression with the M4s. The nades going to go just a split too far, so information gathered for Sprout. They will be able to get some free control over on that B bomb site and potentially rotate those pistols up and make life so slightly more difficult over towards that A bomb site, although Endpoint taking absolutely no risks. Molotovs and nades to clear their corners as they start to push through. And this round for them is just about getting out of it cleanly, not giving those M4s any kind of a look in, not allowing any rifles to be picked up, where potentially rounds can start to spiral out of control. Sprout with a nice rotation off the back of that early information, but it's Crucial who draws first blood. Spiddy going down, and he's looking for more as well as he grabs his second onto the deagle of Dennis. His M4 is looking to finally get into it, and it will be Diha to find the first. Although really not in a recoverable position is what I was looking for, which is a little bit awkward. Doesn't give them much more firepower to work with, and as the push comes out towards long, I think it's going to be onto Snatchy realistically to get 1 or 2 frags here to make this round winnable. The other M4 on the wrong side of the map, but it is going to be the first. Snatchy spamming away, finally taken out, and now Diha with it all to do, grabs himself a second and brings it back onto the 2-on-2. At least this has been expensive, if not winnable. Last man alive is Famine as he spots him out so close. Able to find Mighty Max on the bomb site, but not quite able to make it happen onto Surreal as well. But with just 3 deagles invested into a couple of saved M4s, the round so nearly goes Sprout's way.
Yeah, that was very close. Surreal had pulled the utility out. Almost cost them the round there. Oh, that's a bit awkward. They bought some nades up here on the Sprout side of things. I think looking to maybe, you know, just launch them down, yeah, in toward the stairs here. And Crucial, he does get the brunt of them. However, does manage to find a frag. But first nade thrown by Dennis, he misclicked. He nearly threw at his team there. So that was a bit awkward. But all good. No harm, no foul. However, they will lose an early man. The play itself doesn't work out. And you never know, if he'd have had that extra nade, Crucial may well have gone down. So, sad times.
Yeah, it felt like 1 more HE might have done it. I like the fast flank from the CT side here. Crucial, though, going to get away with it again. Manages to keep his head in cover. Mighty Max finds another. Thomas is there to bail his AWP out, and that's it. This round is done, and I think it really was unfortunate because Crucial went down to around 50 health. I think if there's a second nade early there, then potentially they get that AWP, right? And then rounds can spiral out of control. But instead, It's well dealt with by Endpoint, much better than the previous. They managed to get it through it relatively cleanly, and as Sprout come into this buy, there are going to be some sacrifices. Lack of defuse kits for Dennis and Snatchy, a little bit short on the utility as Dennis as well, and Endpoint just looking to keep that bank building.
Oh, another opener coming in. Crucial is having a great game so far. Crack angle, able to pick up Spiddy, really looking good. The danger man for Endpoint a lot of the time, and if he is playing well, it is very, very scary, particularly if he's playing well on the T side of things, where, generally speaking, your AWP is used slightly differently and maybe not quite as impactful. Depends on the player, I think. Depends on the team, but from what I've seen from Crucial, I think he much prefers it on the CT side. However, Snatchy, another danger man, looking really good as well. The smoke dissipates there. Crucial is in with the trade, but at the very least it's being kept interesting. Still a man advantage, thanks to the star AWPer of Endpoint. But it is a slim advantage, Snatchy. Oh my goodness, he manages to get it. I was going to say, that is so very unfortunate. I think Thomas had just gone for a blind spray and then came to while he was in the middle of the spray, completely fluffs it, and has given Sprout a chance.
A lifeline for Sprout as Snatchy saved by his teammates flashbang and now in a perfect position as well. It's going to be Robin and Crucial sneaking across, trying to just get into this bomb site without losing the extra man. It's the AWP in the perfect spot. Snatchy with the flick for the first and the second. A quad kill in the round for him. Absolutely crucial on the AWP. And I mean, you said Crucial was the star man for Endpoint. Sprout, well, Snatchy's gone one better.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like someone on Sprout gets killed by Crucial and says, man, this guy, he's just hitting everything. He's so good. Snatchy, listen, mate, hold my beer. Let me run in there and show him how it's done. Because that was a big round from him. A really, really big round to pull it back. Particularly on his own on the B-bomb site to just 1v2 like that. So well done. And Endpoint now going to be kicking themselves a little bit that they couldn't convert that previous round, honestly. Money is not really there for the next round if they lose this one, so they've got to get it. Nice timing. The blind spray coming through from Dennis through the wall. Thomas in with 2. Surreal also chiming in. That is brilliant. I really, really like it. Generally speaking, when teams hit the B-bomb site on Inferno, there's utility that comes over, right? That kind of telegraphs the fact. Yeah. And they just wait as close as possible. One flash and they're in, right? And I think there was maybe a couple smokes as well. But Thomas is in the perfect position and he just plays his part fantastically.
Yeah, it felt like they were just waiting to hear that spam through the wood, and then they knew exactly what the play was, right? We hear the spam, we know he's not looking the right way. One flash over, at least we're getting a 1-for-1 trade on that initial frag. We know there's one guy on this bomb site who's not going to be expecting the hit. And from there, it works out absolutely perfectly. A second kill through the smoke for Thomas. Surreal manages to mop up the player over towards Toxic Barrels, and after that, Sprout, well, they've lost 3 players on the B-bomb site. It's 5-on-2. Their economy is in no state to be allowing them to even have a crack at that one. So Endpoint might be kicking themselves from the previous, but they've just gone and hit the B-bomb site absolutely flawlessly and given themselves a really good opportunity as well. When you look at that CT economy, it's starting to really get onto the ropes.
Yeah. As often can be an issue for CT sides, plagued by a weakened economy. A couple FAMASs into this round to allow for utility, particularly the kit for Dihar. They've not had the most comfortable buys. They've not had perfect buys in these more recent rounds, but they've made it work. Snatchy on the AWP once again. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Surreal has no clue at all and is very, very frustrated. Pretty much nothing you can do about that. You need lightning fast reflexes, and he was looking more towards the stairs than the door. Really, really nice opener coming in from Sprout. Spiddy going to deal with Robin as well as he tried to make something happen on long. However, they're not ready once again for these players who have just crept up. This can be the bane of a lot of teams, especially a team like Sprout where it tends to be quite a structured side. Just walking up short can make all the difference. However, I think the damage had already been done ultimately. And it looks like the round is pretty much impossible. Crucial has to find the ace and a 1 versus 4 overall to pull this round back. He's stepped, he's made sound, and 3 people peeking into him at once. Not a chance. Sprout get their 5th.
Yeah, that was never going to work out. And Spiddy, really the anchor man in that one as well, managing to get the initial frag in the long bathrooms. But not only that, he stays alive and gets a second as well. If Spiddy falls down there, then there's nothing stopping them from just barreling into that A-bomb site, concentrating on just the one angle. Instead, he gets the second. You can see the T side constantly wondering, is there going to be a player coming out for the backstab here? And just allows his teammates that time to rotate up. He can give them all the information they need to know, so they stack on that A-bomb site and make it work. Crucial with a nice triple, but unfortunately, it's not quite enough for Endpoint as they to focus their attention over towards this B-bomb site. Surreal with an early trade on to D-Hub, but Faven with a nice spray down has found his team the man advantage once again, and Endpoint looking a bit one-track minded at the moment. Thomas and Robin making their way out of Monster. A lovely headshot from the first, and Thomas coming in with the second. Endpoint, somehow they keep bailing themselves out of these situations. A 3-on-2 this time for Sprout to try and get back into this B bomb site. And I think, again, some big decisions to be made.
Yeah, they're struggling economically round after round after round, and it's in the back of your mind when you're on the CT side, when you're in a situation like this. We could do it. Snatchy's had some really good rounds, but do we want to take that risk? Barely any information to work with. Oh, Thomas shows a shoulder. However, they know where he's at. Nice flash comes in. He's taking a late peek. It is traded back. Spiddy also picked up Robin. It's down to a 1 versus 1, coming all the way down to the wire. However, there is a kit available for Snatchy. He's just going to go for it. And Crucial, he's only got an AWP, so very difficult. Oh, just gets the immediate right click, though. Not sure if the smoke was actually covering him completely there, because it seemed like he knew exactly where he was. And Endpoint, they have a bit of bailout with their 6th round.
Oh, that's brutal. It was such a thought-out play from Snatchy as well. I think that smoke must have gone just ever so slightly too far, because you could see what he was thinking there. Crucial's the AWP player. He's invested into the AWP. We know that already. So if I just go for the Ninja Defuse, worst case scenario, he brings out his pistol, and then the spam is increasingly unlikely. Instead, it's the knife from Crucial. He spots the player out, and he makes it work brutally. Endpoint, again, looking for this sneak out of Monster. This time they're coming up against the pistol stack, though, and Snatchy get one onto Surreal. The dinks do come through, and a couple of quick frags for the CT side, although Snatchy now all alone in a 1v3 towards short. Actually manages to find the dink and frag despite the aim punch, but will be cleaned up by Crucial. And again, Endpoint, it's a bit sloppy. It's a bit messier than they perhaps would have liked, but they do get the round on the board. They are 2 rounds ahead, and their T side is really feeling like it's starting to click.
Yeah, it is getting a bit more momentum here after a slow start. They've done a really good job of making sure that as soon as Sprout get back on the board, they themselves are getting immediately back into things and arguably doing it a little better by stringing a few together, keeping momentum in their favor most of the time. But I have to comment, I really have to comment, Snatchy, for me, just watching him and the way that he plays, I think there's an awful lot of potential here in this player. He looked good on the end of the days of the VP lineup as well, or the Polish VP lineup, of course. And now coming into Sprout, also looking pretty strong. From games that I've been watching recently of them, even when they've been losing, he's looked really good. So I think definitely one to watch, and I hope that Sprout can facilitate him massively in future games and realize how important he really is to their win condition.
Yeah, I think they've been putting a lot of faith in him as well. He's been getting the AWP out consistently. We've seen teammates bailing him out with flashbangs, right? That play onto short where Thomas is fully blind should have an easy frag. As Spiddy going to get a backstab onto Mighty Max and should now be able to call this play immediately, making his way down connector, causing so many problems as Diha gets a second. Thomas at least able to trade it back, but there's just so much presence here. AWP goes down. Still a 3-on-2, still winnable, but with Crucial going down through the smoke to Fab, and this feels surely impossible. Thomas gets one more. It's a triple kill in the round for him, but again, not quite enough for Endpoint. And again, Sprout just getting almost the tactical advantage. The aim feels like it's a little bit better on the Endpoint side of things, but Sprout, they're reading these plays perfectly, and they're just setting their teammates up to get unopposed kills.
I think something that's really good in the Sprout camp is there's an awful lot of trust in teammates as well, that it's kind of the sense that if someone is pushing in... Oh. Unlucky. But if someone is pushing in, they tend to trust in the fact that it's going to go well. They join them, particularly on the CT side. There's always a second guy. There's always the buddy system. Even if it is Spiddy just kind of running in, getting a kill, he very quickly has Snatchy joining him and is like, don't worry, I'm with you. Let's keep on pushing forwards. Let's take these fights. I think they do a really, really, really good job of that on all maps that they play, ultimately, of just having a lot of I've not talked about it for a while, but I kind of call it like the unspoken coordination kind of thing. Just that trust that you have built up. Oh, crisp from Snatchy at the end there. Easy triple, of course, on the MP9, but the ace coming in and 2 nice headshots with the USB. So crisp, so clean, so beautiful to listen to. And pretty much summing this one up, right? Snatchy doing all the work.
Yeah, and I think another example of the team play, right? They gave him the ace there. There was an MP9 on site. They let the USPS go and find it. And I think you're absolutely right. Sprout seemed to have, and I think it's the right term, that unspoken team play, that just intrinsic knowledge that if I go and push this, then there's someone backing me up. Or if I'm going to come out of this angle, then I call for a flashbang, and that flashbang is going to be inch perfect, right? And it's going to fully blind anyone who could cause me any issues. And we see it again here. Spiddy trusted to get aggressive down in con with the door broken open. He's going to find the early pick onto Thomas. And now Snatchy there to bail him out on the fullback as well. Finds the second onto Mighty Max, looking for more. Hits the flick. That's one hell of a shot before he's traded out by Robin. Spots the bomb as well. So a 4-on-2. Make it 3-on-2. Surreal make it 2-on-2. A quick double spray down in connector to at least keep his team in this. And now Spiddy isolated will be taken down. Surreal stepping up for Endpoint. A 1 versus 2 for Dennis. He's got no idea where to look either. It will be Endpoint, despite some heroic plays from Snatchy and Spiddy, who take the lead going into the half.
Yeah, I think that's a really good example, though, from the two of them of how they can also change things up. In that round, you've got Snatchy and Spiddy splitting up. So it's kind of, they've spotted out Spiddy and maybe they expect 2 players to be in connector because that's the way it normally is. But yeah, unfortunately, regardless of the tactics and the mind games, just doesn't quite work out. Surreal comes in with the individual prowess. It's kind of the 2 stories of this game. We've got Sprout with the tactics and the quick rotations, the nice coordinated pushes, and then Endpoint with, let me get a 3K and we can run into a bomb site kind of vibe. So we'll see whether that translates, though, onto the CT side of things. I think it can be a lot harder to make those individual plays on an aggressive sense, right? Because you run a much higher risk of giving up the map control. Do like this from them, though. We see 3 players creeping down connector early on. It may well be the correct call because they're all grouped up outside of A right now on the Sprout side.
So very similar setup to that with Sprout went with on their CT pistol, where they put those 2 players down in con and they just had the 3rd player baiting into the crossfire. And it looks like Robin for Endpoint is that man, with Surreal playing around towards the party area. But for the time being, Sprout just sitting back, perhaps expecting some of that trademark Endpoint aggression. Surreal on the top will be able to find a couple of early tags, one traded by his own teammate as Diha goes down to 50. And this is where these crossfires for Endpoint really need to start coming into fruition. Robin looking to bait them down, but Diha removes his head. Nice timing on the flank, though. Thomas able to get the first and the second, taking the utility with him before he's traded. As Mighty Max on the bomb site gets another an Endpoint, they look like they've bailed themselves out. They've done it perfectly. Crucial with the double. And those frags from Thomas felt absolutely essential, getting all of the utility down with those 2 frags. And Sprout, they wanted to line up the execute. They ran out of nades to do it with.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good read into the way that Sprout tend to play their T sides. This is what happened against Endpoint. Or, well, I mean, it's only just begun here, but the crux of what happened against Endpoint when they played Train and Endpoint came back on their CT side. Sprout have a very rigid kind of style. There's not much flexibility to it, right? They wanted to go for the execute there on A, and they're going to go for it, regardless of the fact that it's like, okay, we've kind of cleared out con, but not quite. It needs maybe a few more players to get aggressive and get some control before the execute comes in. So definitely very unfortunate. Nice pickup coming into this one, though. In all fairness, any kill with the Glock train is a good kill, but ultimately the round itself not going to be doable. Oh my goodness, you hear the slash, you hear the slash. Oh, Surreal. He just picks up the pace at the right time. That is so unfortunate.
That's heartbreaking for Sprout as well. That would have been so much cash. That's a rifle they can potentially get more frags with. That's so much, but instead just picks up the pace. Right, perfect timing, as you said. He just manages to spin around and remove it before the knife kill comes in, and it will be 10-7 as the pause is taken. And I think Sprout with some fairly big decisions to make. They should be buying into this one, but as you said, they're an execute-heavy team, right? They like to rely on those back strategies, so taking the time to think about where they want to go with this round, how they want to push and pull the endpoint rotations to give them the best chance of success, as we will see the UK side going for somewhat of a bonus round with this one. FAMAS in the hands of Surreal, a couple of MP9s for Thomas and Mighty Max respectively, as it is indeed 5 AKs, full utility across the board for Sprout. It looks like some early B presence from them as well.
See what they opt to go for. A lot of early utility coming in from both sides, actually running through the smoke. Tiny bit of nade damage onto Faven, but ultimately not much else coming, trying to just apply pressure on B, like you say, but not dedicating to the rush. And I think it's wise, right? Because there's Molotovs absolutely everywhere from Endpoint. They would have got destroyed. Like this, though, they're waiting for the aggression to come in. However, that is not the result they were looking for. Two players completely ready for it there, tucked in the corner just outside Con, and I think the trade was supposed to come in there, but it doesn't. Meanwhile, Surreal over at Barrels will manage a bit of damage, but takes an awful lot himself. Flashes coming through here for the CT side of things, trying to retain the man advantage. Spitty, meanwhile, is in on the flank, hoping to catch off rotations, but they ain't coming that way. They are not taking any risks at all on the Endpoint side. Crucial is still floating around the A site, though, to make sure that they can spot it out if they do decide to rotate back across.
They've gone for the big play as well. They've made the full rotation. Crucial tries to tuck himself in the truck, but he's going to get caught with a nade out. Spitty on the AK finds the frag, and now all those tags are really going to start to haunt Endpoint. Dennis finds another onto Robin. And with Surreal down on 13 HP, 2 MP9s left in the server. The only frag coming from that initial aggression. I think Endpoint arguably looking for the save here, and indeed they're going to keep a couple of players down on the B bomb site. They know there's a rifle recoverable somewhere. Mighty Max perhaps just looking for the exits, finds the dink, but will be taken down by Spitty. And from such a promising situation, Sprout, their patience really pays off there. They just let Spitty explore the options, found out that the A bomb site was looking relatively open, and then just expected the CTs to have rotated heavily. Happy to take their time in the round, catch Crucial with an nade out, and secure round number 8, get themselves one round closer. Of course, this was somewhat of a bonus round for Endpoint. They had a couple of MP9s up, but still some fairly heavy investment on the likes of Robin and Crucial, who will need drops if they want to buy into this one.
Yeah. Particularly when I think they want to pull the AWP out as soon as possible for Crucial, having a hell of a game. Battle of the AWPers right now on both sides of things, but unfortunately no money to do so, right? So he's going to be demoted down onto an M4. Yeah, definitely a difficult one. I think it's really smart from Sprout, though. We talked about how rigid they can be and whatnot, and when they lose an early man 5v4, I think Endpoint and the viewers as well, right? You're going to expect a team like Sprout to still keep those 4 players grouped up. So why is Spitty the in-game leader lurking around? It's a beautiful kind of play. Faven, meanwhile, quick and aggressive here on short, will manage to find an opener. Surreal trying to buy this time. He's got to time it perfectly. Unfortunately, he's got nades galore coming his way. Still sticking around, however. Oh, Dennis is going to get spotted as the smoke begins to dissipate. Beautifully played here by Surreal. Unable to stick around in that spot as well. So going to be very difficult for them to deal with. Once again, though, rotations are maybe a bit quick from Endpoint.
Looking to take the fight to Sprout, but it will be Spitty to find the next frag. Surreal goes down, and you can see the consequence of the previous round. Crucial is just staying around on the A bomb site. He knows about the potential for the same play to come through as the previous, and it's going to leave Mighty Max and Robin a little bit hamstrung on this B bomb site as the bomb looks to make its way across. Crucial now starting to rotate in as Mighty Max gets the first, traded immediately, and the frags just follow quickly for Sprout, just waterfalling in as they make their way onto that B bomb site. And I think this is exactly what we were talking about, just pulling the strings of Endpoint. You could see Crucial was so aware of what happened in the previous round that he spends a lot of time clearing his way down connected just to get shot in the side of the head, leaving Mighty Max and Robin with a near enough impossible bomb site hold, right? They're both tagged up. There's utility coming in from absolutely everywhere. Nothing doing at all. And as their economy breaks on the CT side of things, Sprout will look to capitalize. Dennis and Diha will pick themselves up some Mac 10s, and I suspect will head very quickly in towards this B bomb site.
Yeah, once again, looking to get aggressive. They really want to get inside the heads of Endpoint with these rushes. Nice and clean from Faven. Crucial will manage one. but that is all. The round over as soon as it begins, pretty much. 10th in for Sprout, evening things up. Now we're starting to get into the nitty-gritty, though, of this game. Like I said, bit of revenge on the cards for Sprout over the weekend. Did not go so hot for them in the best of 3 series, but overpassed a map that, interestingly enough, when you look at the raw statistics, they don't seem to have played very much with this new lineup, but clearly have been doing work on it because it does look very, very good. Early Molotov, early smoke. Once again, really fast here from Sprout at the start of these rounds. I think they are trying to move down to Endpoint's in-your-face kind of aggressive style and bettering them in the more recent rounds for sure.
Getting a lot of map control off the back of it as well. Just charging up long is Spitty and Faven taking that away. And you can see Endpoint forced to respect it somewhat, forced to fall off. Robin caught in no man's land by Spitty off the back of that aggression. Is going to leave Crucial all alone on this A bomb site. Bomb not yet committed though. They know that the rotations will start to come through. Now they go. 3 players going to push their way out truck side. Able to find the refrag is Thomas, but the smoke played perfectly by Dennis. Spamming through. Faven gets a second. And again, perfectly lurking for these trades. Snatchy at least able to get the last on the bomb site. Mighty Max nothing doing as he tries to make his way up top con. It's Deha who has the perfect read to give Sprout the lead. And we said that Endpoint potentially going to struggle a little bit on their CT side because of that lack of being able to just go, oh, I've got a triple kill, let's go into a bomb site. And I think we're really starting to see that now. Sprout, they're pulling them apart and they're really just forcing rotations across the map and then picking the easier bomb site and connecting to it as Endpoint again down on the half buy. There's going to be some pistols for them to potentially try and pull off the impossible. Or more likely, just take a couple of those rifles away and give yourself something to buy around.
Definitely becoming the case as well that that economy is going to struggle, and then you can't really afford to get aggressive when you don't have a super strong economy or even a strong buy, right? It's a really tough situation I think they find themselves in here on the Endpoint side of things. And often the case moving into the CT side, something that I think is quite prevalent in all levels of CSGO when you have that one strong player carrying you through a lot of rounds in the form of Crucial here for Endpoint. It makes it quite difficult on the CT side because you know the chain only as strong as its weakest link. So if you've not got everybody on his kind of level, or at the very least creating room for him, making it easier for him to come into retakes, then it's a lot harder for him to find those frags on the defensive side. So I think that also comes into it a bit, that maybe some of the other players on the Endpoint side of things just not chiming in as much as they should be, perhaps. But this is a round, this is a setup that could be very, very bloody on the B bomb site, and it is indeed the Endpoint for Sprout, if you'll pardon the pun. Here we go, though, walking straight into the pistols. Surreal going to come in with 2, almost a third. Runs out of bullets, doesn't matter, though. Oh, and you can see it in your mind's eye when they were set up like that, so very close with all those pistols. Running through smokes is not ideal, Sprout, and hopefully they have learnt their lesson the hard way.
We spend all that time hyping them up, going, oh yeah, they play very careful Counter-Strike, very measured Counter-Strike, but then they go right back to what you said. They were set in their minds that it was going to be a B hit, and Endpoint got the perfect read. They had aggression towards A, allowing them to put 2 players down con, and then 3-man stack of the B bomb side going straight through a smoke is never going to be a particularly happy experience against the pistols. And Sprout punished brutally as Faven tagged down to 6 HP and connector early on. Crucial, looking like he wants to finish the job as well. Had his pistol out for a moment there. What is this spam from Thomas? He's got 2 players down to a combined total of 27 HP, and as Crucial finds the early pick in this round, life's becoming very, very difficult for Sprout. At least Faven on low HP will be able to recover the AWP and give himself a little bit more of an opportunity to frag. But for Endpoint, honestly, couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah, you can definitely tell from the previous round that Sprout are a little annoyed at themselves with the way they played things, because I don't think it was massively Endpoint outplaying them or a big show of skill or whatever. It definitely was forcing their way into the B bomb site. Oh, that's unfortunate. Perfect smoke here for Robin to work around. Spots out the shadow of both of these players. Makes for easy frags. And a 5-on-2 coming in. Super clean stuff for Endpoint, particularly if they're able to keep these remaining players at bay. Not quite going to be the case, however. I was going to say keeping all 5 alive, but didn't even say it, and the caster curse comes in. Nonetheless, they only lose the 1. And Endpoint will get their 12th on the board. Looking good towards the end here, breaking the economy somewhat of the T side as well. They're a little all over the place, but they are going to go for it. Dangerous, dangerous territory right now for Sprout.
Yeah, this is where it almost feels like it's do or die time at this point, right? 2 techs, 3 AKs, their economy is absolutely busted, and if this round goes down, they're only on a 2-round loss bonus, so it's not really going to recover anytime soon. Endpoint with absolutely everything they could ever want for Christmas. 2 AK-47 saved as well, really making themselves lethal. Robin, left alone on the A-bomb site initially. I think he just spotted the foot of Fallon on the edge of that smoke, and indeed, he is going to get the frag through it. Snatchy goes down. The early man advantage again there for Endpoint as they start to rotate players up to support Robin. Feels like the perfect start to things here. Crucial going to go up towards A with the AWP, just spamming away. Sprout, they've got the utility to plan some kind of an execute here. That's the only smoke they've got over towards the A-bomb site, and it looks like, once again, they are absolutely committed to this A hit as the flank from Surreal starts to come in, and he's actually going to get a freebie, traded out at the very least, but the information's surely there now for Endpoint.
Yeah, definitely a lot to work with off the back of that. Already got 3 players in on this site as well, ready to go. A good bit of utility will force Crucial into an awkward angle. Smoke coming in onto Optimus. Could get messy here. Oh, not Crucial. Finishes things before they even begin on the A-bomb site. Quick collat coming in. A 13th round for Endpoint as well. And Sprout. It's salt in the wound. A poor start to that round. The past few as well be difficult to stomach. And then Crucial just sums up how things have been going. Doing so much damage. I think not only in the round, but also mentally. It is never nice to get collated like that.
Yeah, it's never nice, especially when that was your force buy. That was your big round, and then you just get collated as you're heading into the bomb site. I mean, up close and personal, sure. Maybe they get a couple of nice headshots and that round starts to open up, but Crucial puts it to bed before it even really became a possibility, and Sprout will be once again down onto these pistols. Deagles for 4, Deha on the P250 because he really can't afford any more. And I think they're just hoping for some over-aggression from Endpoint, who are looking very well drilled at the moment, just sitting back, taking the fights one by one. It's Surreal with 3 quick shots, down to 2 HP. The second player there, though, Mighty Max there to bail him out as the frags start to come through. And Endpoint looking set for a 14th and looking really clean on their CT side now. I was worried for them initially when it looked scrappy and it looked a little bit awkward around the edges, but with the nades coming in to finish off Snatchy, that just summarizes it. They have gone from strength to strength. And Favon, I think if he could take 1 rifle away, that would be absolutely fantastic at this point. This half buy has just been torn apart at the seams, and with the bomb down, there's nothing doing. Mighty Max with the adjustment. The headshot is incredibly crisp. Surreal helps himself to 4 of the eco frags, and just 2 more rounds needed for Endpoint.
Yep, picking it up towards the end. They do seem to be a team that have a really good amount of second wind in them, I think, Endpoint, for sure. Really, really finding a bit of energy towards the end of halves, towards the end of games, more often than not, and it's really good to see. But Sprout, definitely possible for them as well. That kind of structured style could suddenly come online and start working, and they might have a few things in the strat book. Unfortunately, though, Crucial, once again, super quick, door open, quick scope. See you later, Dennis. Doesn't even have time to react to anything that's going on. And now it's another thing for them to deal with over in Connector.
Yeah, Sprout strat book is rapidly being turned to the page that just says panic in all caps. Snatchy able to get 1 back onto Surreal. The flashbang from Thomas not helping his teammate out any, but it does bring it back into the 4-on-4 and perhaps give Sprout a little bit of a lifeline here. They're queuing up towards this B bomb site, and Endpoint again with a fantastic read. They're just trusting Crucial to be alone up on that A bomb site, allowing them to have this 3-man stack. And as Mighty Max pop flashed in, Favon is fully blinded, so there's the frag. All 3 remaining Sprout players just queued up outside Monster. Gonna wait for the timing and look to hit in towards this B bomb site, but life is becoming more and more difficult, and everything Sprout do at the moment, Endpoint seem to have an answer for.
Flashes coming in, unfortunately ill-timed and not quite accurate enough. Thomas and Robin, oh my goodness, just easy for them. Duck hunting right now. Goodness me. It's got to be frustrating on the Sprout side of things, right? Because you feel like you're doing things that have worked in the past, but just a few small adjustments on the Endpoint side of things mean that the flash doesn't do any work. slightly too early there from Dihar moving in. Still some cracks around the edges for sure here for Sprout, but we'll see. Got kind of a buyout here, a lot of utility to work with. Definitely interesting to see as a team as well. They really do like to prioritize this utility, not a single AK. Certainly could have had one of these players pick one up perhaps, but all the same, Surreal once again in through the smoke, just rubbing salt in that wound. Another kick in the face, to be honest. Every single round he comes back in seemingly from nowhere to just find kills.
Faven on 2 HP goes down to the Molotov. It actually hits him in the face and kills him. Thomas gets the second. There's at least one trade there, but it's 4-on-1 and it's done. That's a Molotov to the face of Faven to find a frag, and I think that really, it summarizes Sprout's luck towards the end of that second half.